Hello, family. Pray all is well with each one of you. Coming on with another video about our 400 years. We're about to embark that. The date that I've seen on which is considered to be legal documents has been since 2 years ago, saying that August the 20th, 2019 will make 400 years. But I see people are celebrating anything. I've seen dates on the 22nd of August, the 25th of August. So it's just many different things will be happening during this month. And I want to, just give it all as far as one presenting it to Congress. His name is John Conyers. He was a congressman who introduced this bill, which Trump signed about 2 years ago and made it into a law in reference to the commemoration of it. If you understand that when it was signed, of course, we were at odds. A lot of the, so-called blacks who is Israelites in the Congress and also Senate, they were being at odds with Trump because of things he said. So this, some people did show up there doing the signing, but ones who were more for Trump, who believed in wholeheartedly, who voted for him and such forth of that, So ones who would have been the one to make a stand with, in the stand for Congress, former Congressman John Conyers did not show up. They did not show up. So, but when you look at the commemoration bill law that was signed, it was just to give about 2 years for once, to not that money was being issued out to them. It was more of like you would, if you have a business or organization and you put in for some type of grant that would been, issue. And I want to say it was up to $20 million. But it closes out next year, July of August 20th. July of August 29th. July of 2020. Okay. So it's not where, well, let me back up a little bit. HR 1242 and HR 40, they are similar, but Conyers had where he had about 15 to 16 pages of different things he wanted to submit and to want to be passed and be taken in consideration, and was reparation. It was, just understanding about a lot. And I've shared it with my Facebook page probably about 2 years ago. So I just wanted to put the face out there who originally started this. This actually started way back in 1980 something, you all. He'd been working on this for many, many, many years. And he left from actually being a congressman due to a sexual harassment case that came up against him. So he would have been at the forefront in this and would have, did all he could do. But due to what happened with him, he stepped down and others have taken it up. And what we're going to see throughout America, certain people who have, sign up for that, far as under that bill. And, certain churches probably going to, going to have different type of festivities and different things that will happen during that time. But it's really, really sad. And who's going to redeem us and who is going to give us what is needed? It's going to be the Almighty. The sad part is about, when we got some of the Israelites, and ones who haven't been awakened yet or still sleep. We don't even know the actual date. We don't know all the surrounding of. There's a 20, odd Negroes came on a ship, and that's what started it. And, it's just so much is not given to us. And it's because we still in the land of our enemies and they can care less in that regards. Who gonna care about this is the Almighty. I'm praying that the Almighty put it out to our feet in front of us, lay it out in front of our feet. they're not even going to know why they're going to be doing things. Just, Father, have your way. Have your way to bring us to understand it and to know of what we need to know in this walk with Him. And I'm praying that that will actually happen. So I want to take your attention towards, let's see here. One moment. Let's start with this one right here. This is a church. Well, this is 400 Years of African American History Commission. The commission logo symbolizes 400 years of African American history. The drum stands for global communication and healing. And the segment chains represent the breaking the cycle of slavery and perpetual struggle for equality. 2 stars depict balance between the inspiration and aspiration. So you're going to have ones who are actually the so-called Negroes, who are Israelites, who going to look at this and, oh, this is it. This is breaking the chain. It's just symbolic, But those who don't know the truth about who we are and not in line with understanding about the Bible, and there's still a great chance going to the Christian churches, understanding the Christian way, still in idolatry. So much, it's just going to be for what gain they can get. Ones who are probably, what I see having a lot of the different festivities. I didn't go in depth to see if how money was going to be allocated or allotted to people, but my understanding was they had to, be like an organization or some sort, and that will apply for a church or, your organization. You would have to put forth within an application to submit your information to be considered a part of. So let me go a little further here. It says in August 1619, 20 enslaved Africans were brought to Point Comfort in English colony of Virginia. The site is now part of Fort Monroe National Monument. The 400 Years of African American History Commission Act, signed into law January 8, 2018, established a 15-member commission to coordinate the 400th anniversary of arrival of the first enslaved Africans in English colonies. The commission's purpose to plan, develop, and carry out programs and activities throughout the United States that recognize and highlighted the resilience and cultural contribution of Africans and African Americans over 400 years, acknowledge the impact that slavery and laws that enforce racial discrimination had on the United States, encourage civic, patriotic historical, educational, artistic, religious, and economic organization to organize and take part in anniversary activities, assist states, localities, and nonprofits organization to further the commemoration, and coordinate public scholarly research about arrival of African and their contribution to the United States. So this is in a nutshell that's what Trump pretty much signed off on. And a lot of our people going to just take this and run with it and say, oh, now we have done 400 years. This should mean something. They don't see the spiritual aspect of it. A lot of them don't. But, hey, this day will come. I truly, praying and seeking the Almighty. There were, I think it's Israelite Moray Morris from Hebrew Nation Building actually came forth and said that a 7-day fast. So I'm starting mine on today and going through the 20th, which is on next Wednesday. Okay. Now, in the fast and the praying 3 times a day to pray and for what the Almighty, far as what He's going to redeem us, up, lift the afflictions and bring judgment. That's my prayer. in the manner of which we read in the Bible, which in some cases some may consider to be cruel. But look, in order for us to be redeemed, judgment has to be done. He said, we will see judgment. Judgment will happen. We will see it in the land of our captivity. Then we will leave with what? Great abundance. So he didn't give us a date or time. All I know is that according to Genesis 15 and 13, one might not want to stand by that and saying, oh, that happened before. Well, it's been proven that it did not happen in Egypt. It's we in the only captivity has been in the Bible that has been 400 years close is the captivity we're in right now. People want to say, well, why is a pinpoint to America and possibly Great Britain, but more so America being the most powerful nation, which is considered Babylon the Great? Well, I don't understand why. We know where all those other slave ships went, but some reason that the Almighty have made America the country that a lot of Israelites, we're still here in captivity, okay, and we bridge with Great Britain because we were birthed out of Great Britain, if y'all understand the history, and we still affiliated, still attached to Great Britain. So, and I have always said, we are the only, two nations or one nation that, it's not where it's just us. Like if you go to Haiti, you see more Haitians. You go to Jamaica, you see more Jamaicans. But in America and in Great Britain, of course, the most powerful, nation, far as presidency is in America, which bridge over to Great Britain, which has the king and the queen there. So for whatever reason, we're still, in the mix of them, but a lot of other places like Mexico, Venezuela, Cuba, there you can see they look all the same. They're not like a blend of anybody. Haiti, St. Thomas, Jamaica, Bahamas, if I haven't said that already. If I did, please understand. So just know it's something special about America. Why the Almighty has this and put this before us like this, I don't know. But if you look at America and you look at Great Britain, we're like one and one, which we are. But you see that it's not really, it's a mixture, but mainly in those other areas where the slave ships went, is more of them than, and I'm not saying it's not more of us because of course accordingly, but they're more, their feet, our foot is more on our necks than any other areas. If you travel and you went to these different places, you see more of them in their areas. When you come to America, it's a mixture, and to this day I believe it's more than 45 million Israelites or so-called black people here, but hey, they got the ink pens and they're in rulership, and so they're controlling. So this is what they're going to do, and you can read this. I'll share this. This is where they met, I want to say in 2018, and they took this picture, or either they took it this year, June 12th, 2018, and it has here, let's talk about our dream, a 400-year journey in trials and triumphs, in trailblazing gather at the U.S. Capitol. So you will see different people will have different events, and did ones like Cummins and Elijah Cummins, and ones her name is Sheila. She's a Congress lady. I can't remember her last name right now. Did they do us a disservice not meeting with Trump and to bring this forth to our forefront as our people? Well, it's hey, one may say, because when he was signing off, I tell you, none of people that was to actually be on our side or back us up or to stand in the gap for us, they weren't there. The people that were there were people who voted for Trump, mainly. Even Martin Luther King's sister, a niece, I'm sorry, she was there. She ain't about the Democrats. She about who? But she was there, and I'm pretty sure if any money is involved in this, which I believe it is, but you just have to go through as far as forming for get it as grants. These people got it. That's why I say these top elites, of the so-called black people, the ones who like they have arrived. Oh, I'm betting you because I got all these degrees, I got all this money, I done pulled myself up out of bootstrap. You better believe if it was put in position to say get reparation, they gonna go and try to do exactly what the so-called white man do against the blacks, period, and gonna try to, they're not gonna be fair about this. So that's why the Almighty is gonna handle it. I'm not concerned about no reparation. I'm not concerned, but I'm just saying they will be the ones to say, well, we well educated. We know about this. One guy was like, well, the only way you can get reparation, you got to prove that you African a descendant. What? What about my social security number? What about my slave last name still yet? Okay? Hello, whether I married another slave descendant or I was, with my maiden name, what about that? But you tell me I got to go and try to prove, I got to pay somebody to prove that I'm a descendant of slave? And this is somebody who then wrote probably some books and who's, up there trying to speak on behalf of the so-called black people in America. So they're not going to do it fairly. They're going to be looking out for themselves. They're going to be like, hey, we not going to show it, but we going to get whatever we can get coming to us. Because I want to say it was $20 million that was on the table, but you, like I said, had to go through the process. So if your church or one did not get into that lineup, then you're not understanding, what this really truly is all about. Okay. So I'm not going to read any more of this, but you're welcome to check it out. I'll share it in the link. And I want to say there's one more that I want to look at. Is it here? Let's look at this one. Okay, so it says 1619, 400 years ago. And then, these are just different ones after having been kidnapped from their villages in what is present day Angola. Forced on the Portuguese slave ships bound for what European called the New World and stolen from that ship by English pirates in a confrontation off the coast of Mexico. Some 20 and odd Negroes land at Point Comfort in 1619 in the English settlement that would become Virginia. So it goes in some more details. They're talking about Pocahontas. It talks about the journey that began with about 350 Africans on the board of San Juan Bautista was one of the terror, hunger, and death even before the encounter with the pirates. So much have happened. So I just one day just want to be able to go from start to finish the truth. So many, slavery started back in 1500s, all the way to 1875 or something of that timeline. And then you have, I came across this website, which wasn't done by one of us, because you needed to sign in to get into that website. And they had, a lot of stuff on there about slavery, but it was catered to what the so-called whites. Whoever formed that website got a lot of stuff in there. They went back as far as 1419 or around that time, or 14 something, talking about slavery. If it wasn't 1419, I want to say around that time that they actually was talking about it. So these are just some articles that you can Google as well. But just want to draw your attention here. When it says the transatlantic slave, you see 1501, 1875, and you see who all they saying they might came to Americas. Gulf Coast, 22,000. Carolinas, Georgia, 210,000. Northern U.S., 27,000. Chesapeake, 128,000. And you see what went to Cuba, Jamaica, the French, quarters. French Dominique. Then you see far as in Brazil. So family, a lot of people came to these other, areas, South America. They even went into North America, and also, when we look at, let's see, so this is considered Southeast. Let me see if I can read this down to the bottom here. Okay. But what's happening is that, when we look and we've seen how much ones have lightened up, and I see and I hear a lot of our people say, we call out and say, oh, you us, you this, but we have to understand that the remnants of Afro, which are descendants of slaves, Afro Cubans, Afro Venezuelans, they're there in those countries. So they have gotten lighter, but the ones that with the woolly hair, they're still there too. Dark complexion, they're still there. So, I'm just, the day that the Almighty just bring this all into, just this truth into one area, one place, I'm so grateful. A lot of people want to be rich, and they want to be just so well known for maybe their inventions or their books, and I want to be knowledgeable, because whatever Father has for me in my blessings, I know I'm rich in Him. I want the wisdom. You understand? It's deeper. It will take you further than money. Let's not let the world fool us and think that the more money you get, the better off you be. No, a lot of people, they're miserable. I want wisdom. Give me wisdom, Father. Give me the knowledge, and I can share it with other people. And whatever, in my lineup for me to get, according to the blessings He has for me, it's mine. No man can take it away. But I know in my Father, I'm rich. So let's go down a little bit more. Here's another graph, another chart that I want to bring your attention to. If I close out, then it tells here that trade, as far as the African origins, and it tells you the different areas, the Windward Coast, Gold Coast, and just we can see from where they were coming from. Estimate of 12.5 million people were seeds from coastal regions of Africa, and you can see this. So one day, family, we all going to be back together, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I'm going to close out now from this video. There was something else I wanted to show in regards of, let's see here. Okay. Father want me to share it, He'll give it to me, because it totally have left. But I want to encourage you all to fast, and let's pray. Leaning on this, going towards this 400 years. And what Brother Morris was saying is that those who still in Babylon, a part of Babylon, you're not going to pray for judgment to come. You're not going to mean it from your heart. Well, I mean it, because Father have, separate me, and through this walk where I mean it. You hear me? Let it be. I've, been on the forefront with my family, immediate family. A lot of them going on about their business like they ain't even heard me. I've shared with friends. They're going on with like they ain't never heard it. And people out there who just friends on Facebook. But you have your personal, friends. They're going on like hey, this lady done lost her mind. But it's all in the Almighty's hand. Whatever He leads me to do, I will do it. But I tell you this, something big's about to happen. And I'm saying, Father, have your way on bringing judgment. We want Him to have mercies on our loved ones and our friends But family, we have in more than one ways have talked to them, have, want them to open their eyes. A lot of them just ain't getting it. So I'm saying, Father, have your way to end this captivity and to bring us forth into the land that was promised to the forefathers. I get it. I'm a princess. I'm a princess of the 12 tribes. He told me that I will be ruling, that we will be ruling one day over all nations. And I added you all in, but he told me that. And I'm not to be like, think I'm better than anybody, but what he got from me, let it be in that light. You understand? So those who don't know the Almighty like you should, you need to get there. You need to repent, turn away from your ways, and ask him to fill you with his Ruach. And we can pray for our family. But if the day was the day that the Almighty said, I'm coming back, where would they be? We got to look at every day like a day that it could be. But they're not in a lot of cases. And, they want to throw a guilt thing on you and say, well, you don't know my heart. You don't know that. Hey, your fruit's going to show. Why I got to be out of all my family members and then a nephew who is walking in this and understanding the truth, and everybody else in Zuzu, Zaza, La La Land. They still go into these churches who still believe that Yeshua is white. Idolatry. Who not even talking about that we are the people. You imagine going up and sitting up into a sermon, a service, and they talking about one line scripture and they ad lib on that scripture and they talk about whatever else going on about church members and da 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 da. They don't call no names, but you know who they talk about because it's gossip. You know what I'm saying? And they felt like we went because what? And what did you get from it? So if the day was a day that the Almighty, say he's coming back to redeem us, and he's going to take those who he chooses to take according to, our repentant state and so forth, then, what can we say? What can we say? It's sad. I know some of you out there feeling what I'm feeling. It's sad. You got people on YouTube, still, I'm dreaming this and I see that, and and then you put up pictures of Yeshua who is white. You got your followers because your base is, different nations. You got your followers confused and dumbed down to the fact and in idolatry. But you say you an Israelite? Are you just, just to get clicks and to get your commercials in and to get whatever money coming towards you and to whatever the situation is? And it ain't right. You made your followers out of merchandise. And then now you got your little circle around you that if anyone say anything negative to you, they go in on behalf of you. Like you some type of celebrity. But you walking in the Ruach? I'm just saying, we need to get it right. Our time is short. Love you, family. I never met you all, but in spirit, I love each and every one of you. The love that the Almighty have given to me. The compassion he have given to my brothers and my sisters. And to the world. Just wanted to share this with you. So, pay close attention, and, if you can fast, the Almighty, let him lead and guide you how he wants you to fast. And also, Say I'm praying at 6 a.m., at 12 a.m. I'm sorry, p.m., and then at 6 p.m. So 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. I will pray and fast. And so I encourage you all and to lift up in prayer, you know, about our people, about this redemption, salvation coming, that we will be redeemed. All right, family. Have a great rest of your day if I don't come back on. And I'll share these links. Shalom.